right, welcome back to part 2 of our week 4 study skills project, task 3. So in this video, we are going to be looking at the destination overview part of your note-taking sheet. And we're going to be identifying the main ideas in our 3 articles that we found in our previous lesson. So let's get started with that. So like we said, we're going to be looking for information about geography and climate. So that is, what does the country look like? What is the landscape? Is it mountainous? Is it desert? Is it lots of trees and forest? Is there a lot of lakes or rivers? What is the geography? What is the climate? Is it rainy? Is it snowy? Is it cold? Is it hot? What is it like to visit this place? Then we're also going to be looking in our articles for the type of travel. We talked about this back in week 2. Why do people travel? Is it for adventure? Is it for history? Is it to relax? What kind of travel is this destination best for? Then we're going to be looking for any interesting facts about our destination. And finally, and this is the kind of important one that we're going to be going into more detail with later, is the major attractions. So I'm going to start with just this one part of geography and climate. And we are going to start with my first article, Kids World Travel Norway. As you can see in my article, I actually have a whole section called Geography. And in this section, I highlighted some of the key points about the geography of Norway, that it lies in Northern Europe, it's above the Arctic Circle, and then I find here it's a fjord country, and there are great fjords to visit. I went and looked up this word fjord in the dictionary, and I know that it is a river, so that's very interesting. And then I also found over here snow-capped mountains and many waterfalls. That's some interesting information about the geography of Norway. So I want to add this information to my note-taking sheet. And as you'll see, I didn't just copy the sentence. I wrote it in my own words using note-taking form, because this is a note-taking sheet. So I've added this information from my articles to my note-taking sheet. I've actually added some extra little inference that I made here, that if Norway is this far north and it's a lot of mountains and they have snow on them, then it's probably a pretty cold place. That's an inference I can make. So then I want to continue looking at my first article and see if I can find any information that would fit into type of travel, interesting facts, or major attractions. And so, yeah, if I go through my article, I find lots of interesting facts, I find different places you can visit, and I find information about the kind of travel you can do in Norway. And for this example, I used different colors to show you those different types of information, but you can just use one color. That's up to you. And then once I found this interesting information, I'm going to add it to my note-taking sheet. And again, I'm using my own words. I'm picking up just the keywords, right? Reindeers, Arctic fox, so I know that's wildlife. Nobel Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. I'm just picking up those keywords and phrases, and I'm not copying the full sentences. All right, so after one article, I have some information in each of these different columns in my note-taking sheet. But remember, I found 3 articles, and I also want to have as much information here as I can so that when I'm ready to make my proposal and my presentation, I have a lot of good information to talk about. So I'm going to look in my second article on WikiTravel Norway, And again, I found a lot of good information about the type of travel you can do there, some more interesting facts, 24 hours of daylight, there's northern lights, some interesting places to visit, and then some more information about the climate and geography. Again, I see it's repeating mountains, rivers, valleys, all of these things. So I know that this is important information. So I'm going to take that information that I found in my notes and I'm adding it to my note-taking sheet. So I've added some information here. Fjords are rivers. I've added waterfalls. I've added some information here about different types, specific types of active travel that I can do. So as I find more information, I'm going to add that here to my note-taking sheet. But as you can see, can I add more information? Yes, this column of major attractions is looking pretty slim. So I want to go and add some more attractions there because again, this is going to be what I talk about mostly in my presentation. So I want to be sure I have a lot of good options for attractions here. And that's why I went and found my Lonely Planet article. If you'll remember, we said this one was just talking about attractions. It doesn't give me a whole lot of information. I'm going to have to go and find more information. But for this, I'm just going to look at the list, and I honestly just highlighted a few things that looked interesting to me or that I could pronounce. I don't know how to say that word, so I'm not going to pick it. So I'm going to pick the Viking Skip Huset, which I think is the Viking Ship Museum. The Trollstigen, that looks really interesting. Trolltunga, I don't even have a picture, but I like the name. And then I want to pick at least one restaurant or cafe because if I'm visiting a new place, I always want to check out the local food, right? And I'm going to add those to my major attractions under my general overview. And so now after looking at my 3 articles, my destination overview is looking pretty good. I've got a lot of good information now about the geography and climate. I know what kind of travel that Norway is famous for. I've got some interesting facts to talk about with Norway, and I have a nice list of attractions that I can choose from when I'm planning my presentation to the travel club. The last thing I want to do is copy and paste those URLs for each article onto my note-taking sheet so I have everything all in one place, and this is my go-to guide for the rest of the project. All right, we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we are going to continue learning more about Norway and different attractions there. So hope to see you